While taking quick stock of how global markets performed across last week as well as how markets have opened this Monday morning. U.S. Indices rose on Friday with the Nasdaq up 1%, S&P 500 too rose around 0.75% in trade, and the Dow was up just above 0.5%. When you look at major averages though, all three snapped their 5-week winning streak. All three averages were down on a weekly basis, largely on the back of the inflation data that came through on Wednesday. The Dow was down around 0.6%. The S&P 500 was down around 0.33%, and the Nasdaq was down around 0.7%. Of course, this is on a weekly basis last week. This is also partly due to interest rates going up. But that would dent valuations of growth companies, which took a larger beating than some of the other sectors. So you see the Nasdaq too was lower than how the S&P 500 or the Dow performed through last week. Also, US workers leaving jobs came in at record numbers. 4.43 million was where that stood, and that also was largely due to workers seeming to get confident of getting higher pay and better jobs. Moving on to how Europe was looking, European stocks outside of the UK closed Friday higher despite inflation worries. The FTSE was down around 0.5%. However, all other EU markets rose, all other major EU markets rose marginally. When you look at indices in Asia Pacific as well, all of them rose on Friday, with the Nikkei up over 1% and the Kospi up almost 1.5% in trade on Friday. And they've kick-started this week as well in the green. All indices outside of China have started the week in the green. The Nikkei is up around 0.5% as we speak. The ASX 200 is up just above 1/3%, and the Kospi is up another 1% in at the start of trade on Monday. The Shanghai and the Hang Seng are marginally down, around 5 to 10 basis points lower this Monday morning. Mind you, this is ahead of China data coming in on economic data for the month of October coming through. Moving on to how metals worked on Friday. The London Metal Index rose for a fifth day in the last 6, up almost 1% in trade on Friday, and LMEX aluminium rose 1.5% to close the week off. Inflation obviously has risen, and that is partly due to oil prices, which kind of cooled off to the latter part of last week after OPEC reduced its demand forecasts for the end of the year of 2021, and that led to oil completely flattening across the weekend and is at around 80.7 US dollars a barrel after seeing its first weekly fall last week in some time now. This also could be good news, of course, for inflation, as we did speak about that. Inflation also aided gold prices. Gold clocked the best week since May last week, and that has stabilized. Gold prices are at around $1,866 an ounce as we speak. And treasury yields, of course, rose sharply late in the week after declining marginally since Friday. It has declined a bit. The 10-year yield is at 1.565%. It was maybe 1 basis point more at close of trade on Friday, and Bitcoin rose back up. It's at around $66,000. It's around that mark as we speak this Monday morning. An interesting week of trade ahead of us. Let's wait and watch how it plays out.